back then she couldn't afford to keep all the 4 kids. She started running a business. And business was really, really good. This same business that she was in helped her take me to Australia for school. But my relationship with Jesus was kind of lukewarm. So there's an old zinc plant there in Kabwe. I engaged myself in that. And we started doing well. We were making quite good money. I started being unfaithful to my ex-wife. So I was back in Z and I needed to show these guys that I was the exposed one. Yeah. But you know how it is when you're at the mine site. Mm-hmm. It's a savage plant. You find all sorts of characters, drug dealers or whatever, were quite irresponsible. The police showed up and they fired some tear gas in the air and were picked in the Land Cruisers. They were chanting that Mama T's son has found himself in prison. But they didn't know which one of us. Because we're 3 of us.
Yeah.
And the most naughty one is my younger brother. Mm-hmm. That's the one probably they were expecting.
How did they even know?
News travels so fast. My mom was well connected and won't know.
Yeah.
So by the time we're in court,
people knew.
They knew. Okay. This guy coming. Yeah. What? That's when now they were chanting for me. Then when people arrived close to me, they thought, aren't you the guy that was abroad? Mm-hmm. Among his Mama's sons? I was like, yeah. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
So it's a long story. Then my accused people were chanting because they knew him from Chimbokaila. Mm. When he was released at Chimbokaila for something he did, I don't know, back in his day. Mm-hmm. And they said, they called him Terminator. Yeah, Terminator.
Also, he was like a big guy.
He was really muscle up. He was a muscle guy. Okay. He used to act as my muscle guy back then. Okay. So we were ushered into we were taught to sit on the floor first until we were put in our respective cells. So co-accused won't be put in the same cell. Mm-hmm. He was put in cell 3, I was put in cell 4. This is cell 2. Mm-hmm. Then there was the famous Matthew Mohan, the Indian man that was in prison for a while. Okay. He's released now, he's in Kabwe, he's doing a lot of philanthropy things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He then came to me.
Yeah.
He heard about my mom.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I said, good. He instructed one of the captains for the cell. Robbie, I want this guy taken care of. Okay. Give him a good space to sleep. Mm-hmm. Treat him well. Mm-hmm. Then he also instructed for the other cell for my co-accused.
Wait, this is a prisoner giving instructions to...
He was a prisoner chairman. He knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. If you're in trouble, you go to him.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. I was also surprised to have found the prison we used to hear of, like Mukobeko or whatever. It was a correction facility. Mm-hmm. That's why they've now changed it from prisons to Zambia Correction Facility.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference between a prison and a correction facility?
Correction, basically, it's like you're given sentences, even life, what, but you won't expect that they'll actually put somebody on the chair to execute them.
Yeah.
So it's a place where they want people to reform.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Come with good behavior and whatnot, while they're serving sentences. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not as harsh as it used to be. Mm-hmm. Well, I never had been in prison back then. I don't know who was in prison back then, but we used to hear a lot of stories. Even when I went there, they were saying, you guys, we found that things are chilled now.
Nice.
That kind of thing. So in the cell, you have police officers amongst the prisoners. Mm-hmm. They are even given badges, like little badges, like a blue badge.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that maintain order in the cell.
Yeah.
So the drill is you're locked in at 16:30. Mm-hmm. They come to open the door at 6:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I imagine how uncomfortable it may become. Those prison cells, I read about the history. Kaunda created the prison, the Mukobeko maximum prison, to hold a maximum capacity of 400 prisoners. Mm-hmm. There are over 2,500 prisoners
Wow.
in Mukobeko. So one cell would hold about 212 people.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, is a cell like just like a long?
It's a long thing, but slightly bigger than our studio here. Like, maybe, yeah, like
200 people.
it's slightly just bigger, maybe to the gate there or something. Yeah. But it wasn't big.
And were they like beds or you just on the
Yeah, there were bunker beds and there was a toilet. And on the floor, they call it chitakataka. Like you are squeezed like this.
So people used to sleep on the floor.
On the floor. The first day I slept in the chitakataka. That's where you also find the lice biting you.
Yes.
So when they were instructed to give me a proper space, they were still figuring a way to create that space.
Yeah.
So obviously, my comfort discomforted somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like I was put at a place, a very reasonable space. You know, the space in between these towers. That was a payday. I was given that kind of space, and people were like, boss, you're sleeping alone there. And they were envious. Because there's nowhere to sleep.
Yeah.
If you wake up in the night to go to the bathroom, you won't find your space. You have to ask people to move again. The squish, and you can go in. So it was one hell of an experience. Yeah. But for me, why I'm thinking, or why I sort of, up to now, I still think it was God's hand at work, because I went there with a co-accused who was well known. They knew him to be very violent. So they feared him. They feared me too, because I was affiliated with him. Then I was introduced to Mohan, who was a prison chairman. The guy lived like a king in the prison. He had TV, he had a fridge, a 4-plate cooker. He had a bed, a proper bed.
He wasn't like y'all. He was,
So those are the people there are some people that are called special stages. They go out of the prison to shop for other things or that kind of thing. But they are treated special somehow. And Mon was one of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, at that moment, I started remembering that, okay, I think there's a reason why I'm here. I didn't do anything, Chloe.
Yeah.
I never murdered anyone.
Yeah.
I was never violent. I was clubbing. I had a girlfriend here and there.
Wait, were you still married to your first wife at this point?
Yes.
So how was the relationship affected?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Because when she saw that I had gone to prison, you know, at first she started coming. She would comfort me, come visit me.
Yeah.
But it started dying. The visit started dying, and I would hear things because of the connection I had. Officers would come to me and say, "Hey, last night was epic. We saw your wife grooving at a club called ABCD." So, are you sure? They would tell me things. Then when I heard about these things, I would call a guy and say, "Hey, I heard about this. Do you want to check in?" Yeah. Then my guy would just go there and say,
and you were like, "You're giving out chaffle right now."
The guy would go to her and say, "Hey, did you know that your man knows about your whereabouts over the week?"
Yeah.
So one time she actually came to the prison, like more like trying for me to forgive her or something, to explain herself. I told her that there's no need to explain yourself.
Yeah.
Because I've heard about things and I won't comment now.
Yeah.
So apparently she served me with a divorce notice while I still was in prison.
Oh, wow.
She was trying to cover her tracks because people had seen her do stuff. So obviously I was not violent to her, so she wasn't scared that if I came out I would do anything crazy or something.
Yeah.
You know? So she just wanted to be away, and because people were saying, "Oh, your man is gone. Murder. He's never coming.
He's never coming back." Yeah.
So we kept going to the courts, adjournment. We went to the subordinate court for 6 months. We were just adjourning our case until into the 7th month. We were given instructions for trial to the High Court because it was a criminal case. So it was supposed to be tried at the High Court.
Yeah.
So we went to the High Court. We started going to the High Court. So from there, that's when I encountered like my faith in Jesus, like strictly strong. Not because I was in a desperate situation, but because honestly, Chloe, I was in prison right about the same time HH was in prison. So now, I never had a toothache, headache, stomach ache. The whole of the 12 months I was in Mukobeko, I spent 12 months in Mukobeko. I never got sick.
Yeah.
I think the only time I remember getting sick was I borrowed some headsets because it's a trend there when you're about to sleep, lock up time. You jab your headsets and you listen to some music or radio or whatever. So I said, I want to sleep with some music, and I put my headsets on. And my eardrum popped. It was hurting.
Yeah.
That's the only time
That
I
you-
remember taking medicine for anything.
Yeah.
And there I found people that had TB, serious TB. They were on drugs. This guy was sleeping this side of me, was another TB, this side TB.
And you didn't get it.
If I remember the number of people that were living with TB there, about 480. Then with people that were on art medication, there were about 500 and something. And in prison, there's no privacy. The way it is here, you wouldn't know who's drinking ARVs or not. But back there, they were announced in the hallway, like in the corridors, to say, Panji Tembo, tomorrow you'll be getting your medicine. Come and meet up at this place. There's no privacy. The same way, bathrooms are not lockable. They are not as tall as the door. It's halfway. So if you're in there, there's a queue. Somebody says, oh, I'm next, eh?
Oh!
That's how it is. I'm not joking. There's no privacy. There's a total humiliation. And it's just at another level. Bathing, I'm cool bathing with my fellow guys, like, because I went through boarding. But if I'm trying to have a number 2 and this guy is telling me I'm next,
Right?
you know, it's something disturbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's congested to the point where there's always a queue at the toilet.
Yeah.
At first, I took, I think, a week. I never went to do a number 2.
You didn't be comfortable.
I was like, when am I going to do this? You know? It was something else.
Yeah.
So, I started accepting it. I think mentally, I fed myself mentally saying, hey, you're not here because you're a criminal.
Yeah.
I think I'm here to learn 1 or 2 things. And I learned so much. I learned so much. Back when I was back in the world, I would go to church here and there. I would go to church with my mom sometimes. I would still go back to the clubbing and whatnot. Yeah. I used to go to church and I wouldn't know how to recite my Bible. There, Chloe, there are people, criminals. That word criminals have turned into pastors. Some genuinely, some when they go out there, they forget. They throw the Bible away. Yeah. But when the person I was living with, the captain, they say the captain I was living with, Robbie Muyamba from Solwezi, he was a staunch Christian. He taught me how to read the Bible. He taught me we did Bible studying together, like maybe as a cell. The whole cell will have a Bible quiz. And I started dominating. I started shining. Yeah. I started narrating stories in the Bible, like making other people understand. They would come up with a quiz and maybe a paragraph from the Bible or one verse or something. And they would want us to debate about it. And it would be a heated debate. Yeah. Then in the process, I started learning a lot of things. I started learning how to pray. I learned how to wake myself up at 2 a.m. and say, hey man, you have to pray. And it's been a routine up to now. Like Sometimes I find myself awake at 2. And not because I just want to pray because it's 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
But best believe me, I did some prayer and fasting out there. And each time, even now when I pray and fast, I become like Samson. I become so strong.
Yes.
I don't know where the strength comes from, but I don't starve myself. But I do pray and fast and genuinely. And whenever I pray and fast, I do see God's hand in my life. Like when I tell myself, I need to buy a car. But I don't know, I need guidance and just wisdom to maneuver about this whole thing. I don't want distractions. I don't want what. I'll pray about it. Then eventually I find myself, no, let me fast about it. You know, whenever you have money, there's always a problem that's going to come. I sold my car and I'm planning to buy a car. I've been praying about it. I've been fasting about it. But for me, it's become like a daily routine, it's a habit now. It's part of my life to pray and to understand what God is saying. Because whilst I was out there before prison, I never cared about what God said. I didn't care about what God felt about me backsliding. I didn't care about what God thought me staying out in the club and probably picking up a girl or something. But this time, I've been in Lusaka. Yes, I do go out with a friend or two. Usually Warren is the one I go out with now because we've become acquainted like that. But we find ourselves, let's go home, let's go to the night. We don't live a regular life like that. So all this has been after my experience in prison. That's the point when I met God. I met God there in a very unique situation where I thought today will come out. When we go to court, they tell us no tomorrow. And if I remember, my mom would bring the daily money to us every time. Every quarter, she would bring daily money. There was a line by Pastor Chris there was a storyline where there was a baker baking cookies and this cookie was thrown in the oven, and each time you look through in the oven, when the cookie knows that I'm done now, the baker will go like, no, not yet. Throws it back in the oven. That's what God was doing to me. I was always thinking tomorrow is going to be my day. I had not learned, was not finished with me. So even my partner, my co-accused, he was a violent guy. People feared him. He had tattoos all over He used to be an ex-commando. He was dishonorably discharged. So for him, he was one of those people that when they're in the prison, they'll pray, they would seem like they've changed. This guy, when he prays, people would listen. When we went out, he became something. And guess where he is? He was shot dead. Not too long from when we were released. He was gunned down by the C5. Here in Lusaka. Yeah. So I count my blessings every day from where I've been, what I've been through. And I know that God's got a purpose for my life because honestly, I couldn't have gone to prison and come out with nothing. Many other times I just sit down and think, why did I go through this? I can't put 2 and 2 together. And I just come up with a conclusion to say, God loves me. And probably my destiny is not yet fulfilled. And because I started blaming myself. Hey, I'm well educated. I come from a good home. But why me? Sometimes I'll think maybe God was unfair or whatever, but I tell myself in the end that, hey, this is how God actually tailor-made your life. Like He wanted it to be like this. That's not all, Chloe. When I was released from prison, I was acquitted with no case to answer. On trial, people couldn't identify the people that were present. We were in the dock. The key witness came to point at the people that had pushed the person on water.
So that person is legit dead.
Nope. That person was already out there.
Why?
The time they were beating us,
Uh-huh.
the time they were ganging up on us, the
Uh-huh.
guy swam out of the water
Mm-hmm.
and escaped somewhere from one of the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a mining
Yeah.
dam.
Yeah.
So they had put funeral at his house.
You're lying.
They put the funeral at his house, the mom's house.
Yeah.
22 hours. They canceled the funeral. And we started hearing rumors. No, that person is around.
Yeah.
Actually, just hiding from the police.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So now, for me, I was not bitter. My mom was not bitter, but people approached mom. His relatives went to mom and said, our boy is around, but we're scared. We know how connected you are, because once we surrender this guy, said right now it's too late. The case is in court. It's ready for trial. There's nothing I can do. And even if I take him to the court and say, this is the guy they say.
Yeah.
So we'll let the law take its course.
Yeah.
So during trial, they asked the police officer, the arresting officer, the CIO, why did you arrest this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the ingredient of murder is death?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have something to warrant death in this case?
Mm-hmm.
No, Your Honor. I don't have a post-mortem report. Did you attend the funeral? No.
Mm-hmm.
Did you exhume the body at where it was buried?
Mm-hmm.
No. So why did you charge these people with murder?
Yeah.
The key witness clearly doesn't know who pushed their sibling on the water, because the key witness was the nephew to the guy that owed us money.
Yeah.
So it so happened that this whole case was just like a vendetta on us, because we were doing so well with the minerals. And
Yeah.
them, they started a while ago, but with us, we went with a bang and we started reaping stuff, and we had a good buy, and they knew we were making money.
Yeah.
But in the end, they wanted to just probably make us suffer for no reason, because this guy was out there, was enjoying his life, but in shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of rumor. This guy, the mother, is a witch. When he touches the water, he vanishes.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom didn't even make attempts to probably go and catch him or whatever.
Yeah.
My mom was just solid on the fact that God was going to exonerate us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Up to today, she said, I didn't want to do anything else.
Ish.
I wanted to trust the process.
Yeah.
And for me, I thought, as painful as it was for you to be there, my son, I knew that you were being transformed. Because I kept a bad company. And God just whipped us, all of us, and we scampered. And guess what?
Right.
The people that were at the mine that time were being beaten.
Uh-huh.
The 7 of us.
Yes.
The 5 guys didn't come to see us in prison.
You're lying.
Up to now.
Really?
Yes. My mom, you see.
Mm-hmm.
God wanted to expose your friends, your wife. Because apparently my wife was going with other men while I was in prison. She became reckless. She's not that woman that I used to live with. I heard stories. I saw it for myself when I got out. So when I got out, I didn't even move into the house I used to live with her.
Yeah.
I had 2 kids with her, Trevor and Tamika. And when I was going to prison, Trevor was only months old. Came out, it was almost like a year and a half. So mom said, no, don't worry about the kids. Just move to my house. Then we can pick it up from there.
Yeah.
I moved to my mom's house. She started accusing me. I never loved her. I always listened to my mama because I'm mama's boy. So I just didn't care about it. The woman I'm with now was sort of my girlfriend back then, with the kind of life I lived.
Yeah.
She consistently came to the prison.
Yeah.
Consistently came to it. Even when I was out.
She said, that's my man. I'm stick beside him.
You see what I mean? Like, she kept coming. My mom kept saying, who's this person?
Yeah.
My sister's like, ask your son.
Yeah.
Eventually, she got the news to say, this is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
We had, my current wife, we had a daughter before I think I learned this when I was in prison that she was out.
Mm-hmm.
So she delivered when I was still in prison. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that look. So
I'm trying to do the math. Anyway, yeah.
yeah, because Trevor and my third daughter Talita,
Yeah.
um, they're just a year apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I was not proud of the life that I lived back then.
Yeah.
So I was with this woman even when I was with my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what prompted me or pushed me to this other woman was the kind of vibe I was getting, even when I was married
Yeah.
with this other woman. It
Yeah.
was like there was so much I was doing, but I was not getting the love that I was expecting
Mm-hmm.
because and partly not because I want to dent my ex-wife name, but she was a bit materialistic. Like she always wanted the finer things.
Yeah.
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 So that my mom observed and said, "That girl loves just your money."
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't listen, and it showed eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So she stopped coming to the prison. She stopped doing this. So when I was out, my mom stopped me from going back to the house because my mom was scared that I might just discover other relationships that she's keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom is like typical hustler. She said, "You don't even know who bought the bag of meal that's in the house right now.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna go there, start eating Hashima. You're not working. You lost your business. You lost your money. And where are you gonna start from? You're gonna end up beating her and probably causing death, and you'll be back in prison for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go back there."
Mm-hmm.
I stayed with my mom till I started trying to hustle here and there. It was painful because I kept calling people that I hung out with back then.
Yeah.
They won't pick up my call. Sometimes I was forcing myself on them. I would literally just go to where they're found, and I know I'm not welcome, but hey, these are my friends.
Yeah.
I want to be with them. I want to go out and have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
So, in as much as I was in Mukobeko and met Jesus, I was not done.
Mm-hmm.
Got my car, cranked it, was going to Ndola, started running up and down with my businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Before 2019, my mom bought me a shop somewhere near Mlungushi University, main campus, as you were heading to Ndola, because we have a farm there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's good business there for the students. So she asked me, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to set up maybe a shawarma business, like for the students. For now, I'm not so sure what I want to do." I said, "Okay, fine."
Yeah.
So she bought some machines and whatever, deep fries. So as well, trying to see how business would be. It was Christmas time.
Yeah.
We went for Christmas, we checked out, things were good. New Year, we said we'll still go and check it out, just assess more.
Yeah.
We only had a bottle of champagne between me, my sister, my current wife, then, which was my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And we were driving back home. We left my sister because my sister was at Mulungushi, so she was in school. So we were heading back home. And we said, you know what, we'll celebrate tomorrow. Let's just go home and call it a day. I was with Alex, my cousin, and his girlfriend. And on our way back, we crashed. It was a terrible crash. How did we crash? We found a Marquex and a Corolla that hit each other.
Mm-hmm.
The Marquex lady was driving the Marquex. She died on the spot. The Corolla driver was a taxi driver. He fled the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Then the road was pitch black. They didn't put anything to show that there's an accident ahead or what.
Yeah.
Me, I was ambushed into that accident. Everything was in slow motion, Chloe. My missus was capsized in the dashboard. The seat flipped her. The guys behind, it was a terrible accident. I was the only surviving guy. Like
Yeah.
I survived without any injury or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I started calling out their names. They all answered me. Then I knew that they're all safe. And my woman was saying, I'm okay if you can just lift the seat. I'm trapped."
Yeah.
The car started burning instantly. The car burned. They started like boom, boom. I got my wife out of the car. Everybody out. We went and sat on the grass, and a taxi driver, good Samaritan, recognized me. Ah, PJ, what are you doing? Are you the one who crashed? I said, yeah. Let me take you to the hospital. I said, before you take me to the hospital, take me to the police. I report this issue. The car started burning like to ashes. We rushed to the same police because I'm the police. We reported that the traffic officers, we told them the number plate of my vehicle and what transpired, and we told them the other vehicles there that had crashed before us. Then that's when we went to Central Hospital. They attended to my friends and my woman. For me, I was a bit just in shock. I was okay physically. And the police, instead of going to the scene, they came to the hospital. Why? They heard Mama T's son crashed. They said, another jackpot. Which one? The one who was in prison recently. Yes. Wow, this guy is something else. They came, they wanted to take me in for questioning. My mom was like, why?
Yeah.
Have you been to the site, the scene? No, we are told he's the one who crashed. I said, no. Go there and check. So, Chloe, little did I know that when I crashed into the macaques, its kid went to bash a lady who was spectating and she died on the spot. I was charged with dangerous drug, causing death by dangerous drug. I went in the same cells. I spent 23 days. I spent 3 days in there. Wow, what's going on here? They denied me bail. They said, the lady that you bashed is the auntie to the big boss at traffic. So she's bitter. She won't give you bail. I said, there's no such thing. No, blah, 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 blah. Somehow, they snuck me out of the police cells. The officer in charge snuck me out of the police cells and took me to court. There they gave me bail. Funny enough, I found, or rather, fortunate enough, I found that the magistrate that was there, I knew her. She said, I'm going to give you free bail, man. You've been through a lot. That didn't go so well with the police officers and the prosecutors. They wanted me to pay. I said, no, I can't pay. I went home. It was terrible. My mom was devastated.
But how did you feel? Like,
I was crushed more than the first incident. I said, there's no way this is happening to only me. You know? I started going to court. That's the time I moved to Lusaka. He said, no, enough is enough. My pops, he said, come to Lusaka. He started paying a house in Long Acres for me when I was doing nothing. I was just sitting. He was paying house, buying me food, until I started looking for a job here and there. Yeah, I had a few jobs here and there. I worked from Quasi Breweries. Didn't work out so well. They closed the company. So, in all these turnaround events, that's when I knew that the first time I did not actually meet Jesus. I met Jesus the second time.
wow.
Do you know what? I knew that I was trying to be somebody I was not, or somebody I was not supposed to be, by following the same old people I drank with, the same things. My mom would worry sometimes. I would go home 3 in the morning. You just got out of prison and you're going 3 in the morning. What's going on? I was trying to fit in. I didn't accept who I was, who God had made me become. So this time around, I knew that, no, this is not a coincidence. This is God saying, dude, I'm not done with you yet. Trust me, Chloe, I'm here, living proof. I have been through fire and I came out good. And I think I really keep a small circle. When I'm in Lusaka, I chill with Warren. When I'm in Kabwe, I chill with my wife. You know? Because people have let me down. People that used to look up to me for things, I'll literally get clothes from my closet and give them. Say, dude, do you want to have this t-shirt? Do you want to have these Timbers? When I call, they never pick up. So my wife said, why are you trying so hard? I said, hey, man, have you ever been in a situation where you used to have so many friends, then you don't even have one? Then she would tell me, I, for one, used to have friends, but when I got married to you, I no longer have those friends. You know? So yeah, I'm in a good space now. My wife is Catholic, but she's not Pentecost. And I've been trying to embrace her to visit my church, but I thought, hey, let me not force her.
Mm-hmm.
Let her practice her religion in the way she feels comfortable.
Yeah.
But I'll do my thing
Yeah.
also my way.
Yeah.
That I think this whole living apart thing has always probably not given us time to impart the knowledge, the religious knowledge that we need to our kids,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm always up and down. But I always envy the fact that, if the kids can grow up in an environment where they appreciate what God is doing in their lives at a
Yeah.
tender age,
Yeah.
I think they won't end up like us. Because for me, my upbringing was lukewarm. Like, I didn't understand why I don't have to go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe Pops thought he's an engineer, he's well to do, he's got money. Even now, he's well to do. Like, he still doesn't go to church. But this time, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
He lets his kids go to church. He drops them off to church.
Like my dad,
You know,
actually. Mm-hmm.
he drops them off to church. I remember the priest. My sisters go to Mary Immaculate
Mm-hmm.
on Leopards Hero. One time he said, I would like your dad to drop off the vehicle with you guys and just sit in one session.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's not him. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's been my story.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite one hell of a rough road.
Right.
And I'm just trying to pick up my pieces here. Oh, okay, now I can have a breather away from
Yeah.
Because whenever I used to walk in the streets of Kabwe,
Mm-hmm.
people would point like,
Mama T's.
Mama Tista, this is the guy that was in prison.
Yeah.
There was a time, literally, I was having a beer before the second incident, and some girls were like, "You don't know him? Dude, he was in prison not too long ago."
Yeah.
And they left.
Wow.
Like, maybe I was in prison, I killed somebody.
Yeah.
So the stigma was there,
Mm-hmm.
but I fought it. I didn't fight it by hiding. I fought it by embracing the fact that I was not there because I was a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I was there because God wanted me to go there and teach me something. I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like the knowledge I have, sometimes I look at my friends and like, he got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I learned a lot from prison. I can smell a rat. I can smell a conman from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to be conned in prison.
Yeah.
Like, they would come to me. They would just polish some. They knew that I was working with mining.
Mm-hmm.
They'll polish some glass and they say, I'm from Mulobezi. Because he understands Mulobezi, there's diamonds.
Yeah.
He would say, these are diamonds. I snagged them here when they caught me. I'm like, dude, this is polished glass.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want food?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I would use some eggs. Because I was privileged even when I was in prison. I never ate food in prison.
Mm-hmm.
The food in prison is pathetic. It's like they'll cook shima, prepare the shima like we always do it, where you put water and what, you let it to do porridge, then put more mealy meal just to make it thing, and it wouldn't be hard ready to eat. They'll let it to be like thick porridge, and they'll let it harden. After some hours, they would cook the shima from 9 o'clock. Lunch is at 1 o'clock. So from 9 o'clock, it's been seated there. It's literally porridge.
Mm-hmm.
There was diarrhea, there's whatnot. So we made sure we had a chef who was one of the prisoners. A chef from Moan was my chef.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Moan had a fridge. People who used to bring a lot of food would share. One major thing we used to have was eggs. We would have probably 18 trays of eggs. So we would use the eggs. To let somebody wash for us.
Mm-hmm.
If they wash for us, we give them
Give them
4
some
eggs.
Yeah.
When they clean my shoes, I literally didn't do anything. I never did any chores. Because, it's a situation, it's a system that is wired where if you are up there the people that are down there will do everything for you.
Yeah.
Then the people in maximum prison, don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. They don't work. Most of them are even now swollen. Their legs are swollen because of not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just wake up, eat. Yeah, they clean their cells, but they are not as hardworking, or rather, they don't work as hard as the guys at an open prison.
Mm-hmm.
Open prison, they get to go to gardens, plantations, whatever. Maybe they get them for a gang to go and work at the hospital, that kind of thing. But the guys in prison, in maximum prison, they are not allowed to go anywhere. So they won't work. You know, they are just like they are babies. You know, they don't know how to find for themselves. And in a week, I understand they were feeding 250 bags in a week. That's a lot of bags to feed prisoners for 200 for a week, you know. So honestly speaking, chores, it's not like people think, oh, maybe they're there. When they say with hard labor, guys just stew around. There's even barbershops there, like.
And you don't make prison sound like
it's a correction facility now.
Oh, correction. Okay.
There's no, if you do a swear word, you're booked. 2 days you'll be cleaning where when you're bathing, then the water where it flashes out. It's disgusting. That's where they'll put you. If you fight, you'll probably be punished severely to sleep in the chitakataka. They'll sentence you. There'll actually be a court. They want to hear both sides of the story. What happened? Oh, I know you are sentenced for life. You'll be sleeping. You'll never sleep on the bed.
Yes.
And the people that sleep on the bed are people that have been there longer. That's when you deserve a place on the bed. The people we found that have been there since 2009, since the time I was in college, high school, that kind of thing.
The ones on the bed.
You remember? I don't know, you probably don't remember. I was also told there was a 1997 serial killer, Chilala. He murdered 93 people. He used to vanish. When he murders he vanishes, he's found in his soccer in the blink of an eye. That guy is there in prison right now. They've knocked out his knees. Doesn't have, I don't know, this bone that is here.
The kneecap.
The kneecap. He's got plastic kneecaps because he can't even run. He walks funny like this, because they don't allow him to have visitors from home to bring him clothes because they think clothes, when he puts on those clothes, it's going to vanish, Yeah. So there are all kinds of people. But one brutal thing I experienced in prison was homosexuality. It's real. Like, I never personally got, no. But in the middle of the night, you hear people, boom, 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 boom. They turn on the light. What's going on? They're beating up somebody. Not somebody, but two people. What's going on? These guys were having sex. What? Are you serious? I experienced this on the first day when I arrived in prison. People were having sex. The people that used to sleep under the bed, under the bunk bed. You see that space that's on that chair? That's how much space is there. They would sleep under there. Because to create space in the cell, some people have to sleep
under the bed. Yeah.
So now if they're sleeping under the bed, we won't know what they're doing under the bed because the place is congested. Some would confess to say, Captain, I want to report this guy. Do you know what this guy's been doing to me? Whenever you just lock up at 16, he starts hammering you. You can imagine. He's like, is this for you? And I witnessed it. I saw it happen, like man sleeping with another man. What prompted you to sleep with him? He gave me a pack of cigarettes. He promised me 2.5 liter of cooking oil. Because there you have to have some other ingredients to just make your life a living condition. So now, these guys would sleep with each other. Some people would claim, "Ni mkazi wanga." This is a man. No, I don't care. Then I heard stories like back then before now. It was literally just everywhere. It was like a norm where you get, especially young prisoners, like maybe 21, They'll get them. They'll just make them stay on the bed, take water for them for bathing. Literally like a girlfriend. They'll give them the nicer things like chicken, the whole chicken. You know, whereby somebody comes from Shangomo, he's never had a life where he's been eating chicken all his life, and he's treated to that kind of manner. He gives in. Oh, I'll be using you for this kind of thing in return for this favor, and it becomes a relationship.
Yeah.
But
is it like, don't drop the soap? Is that real in prison?
no, I mean, you bath nicely. Those won't happen in the
open places.
In the open places. Yeah. They'll happen in the shadows, like in the night when we're all fast asleep. Then they'll actually talk about it before, like, oh, today it's on, that kind of thing. I witnessed it like 100 times.
Yeah.
And it seemed like some people, when they're beating these guys, some people say, no, leave them, no. Those that are saying leave them are the culprits. Yeah. They're doing it. And it's at a level where even officers want to promote it. It's been a long time since your friends were out there, so what do you want them to do? No, it's not right. I hated them.
Yeah.
It was wrong. I never imagined, And these guys, to prove that they were actually having sex, they would actually make them strip and just do like a swab. And they'll know that, yes, it happened. Because they have to prove beyond reasonable doubt, And all those things will just end up them sent to the disciplinary guys and the administration. And we didn't know how they were disciplined. Because each time would want to probably intervene, come in like to beat them or what. Honestly, I did partake in the beating because I felt it was gross. And then I was tired of it because it was happening. It was often happening. So for me, that was my experience in there. And out here, I think I'm still gone back to my faithfulness. I still have one woman, and I'm trying to just live the dream. Give my life, my family a better life. My wife a better life. My kids better schools. I think that's what I'm focused on now, because even now I still feel my mom never planned the way my life turned out. But I'm still trying to compensate her for that. Like trying to show that you can still have faith in me and whatnot.
Okay. I was not expecting the twists and the turns, because then you're like, you'd been to prison. I was like, oh, okay. Then there was like more after that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. But I'm so like impressed by your mindset. Like a lot of people would go through this and be like depressed and like, oh, God has deserted me, this and that. But you felt like there was a reason, there was a purpose.
That's to all what of that. Kept me going, because when I even came out, my mom was like, did you know that your uncle in Kapiri almost committed suicide? He was owing someone 19,000 kwacha. And I was like, why are you telling me? I'm saying that you're a strong boy.
Yeah.
She hugged me and squeezed me and said, you never attempted to take your life, even when you lost your wife, you lost your money, your businesses, your cars, you're still going. So I just want to say thank you for being the strong son you are, because I was going to lose you. Maybe you're going to become a junkie. You're going to lose your mind, your sanity. But look at you. You're living proof that God can do good things in one's life, and they can pick up from there where they left off, Because imagine being on a plane and going to Mukobeko, You start saying, is this what I was going to school abroad for? You'd wonder to say, because even now, Chloe, I don't think the job that I have is what I deserve. Because the adopted father that I live with, he's been director all his life and never attempted to probably say a favor to his friend or to work to say, my son, he needs a job. He was Rural Electrification Authority CEO, top boss. He never said, "Oh, there's an opening here. This is where you can maneuver around." Nothing. Even when he knew that I went through this, he was very supportive during my time of being in custody and everything. Actually, he played the bigger role because there was things that people demanded, like because there were people that were remanded in prison with me, and they were 12 years old in there. For 12 years, you've been remanded. So for us, we had to persuade mom and dad to persuade people to move our case forward so that we could be heard in good time.
Yeah.
So 1 year was quite astonishing for people. Like, Pamina, I was like, you want us to live here for what?
Yeah.
This is not our home.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we really thank my pops and mom and God most importantly for just being, because we were in prison the time of cholera, not this period. That one was serious. I used to imagine if cholera struck in prison, what they were not going to let us go. Say, hey, and then kumanyumba kamisonge. They were still gonna keep us.
Yeah.
And I witnessed death also. Like somebody dies. Some guy died. If I say in my arms, maybe it's an exaggeration, but he tripped and fell on where I was sleeping because I was sleeping close to going to the bathroom. So this guy kept complaining in the night, in the days. Yeah, I'm not feeling too well. Up to in the night, he tried to go to the bathroom. He tripped and fell on me, and he died. It's like, dude, get off. He was not getting up. So I got up. I said, can you turn on the light? Turn on the light. The guy was like, Mr. PJ, this guy is gone. Can you just excuse yourself? And they tried to wrap him up, and they called the officer, said, we have a dead body here. Yeah, it was like that.
And you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
I'm bang. So Panji, thank you so much for joining us on the episode. I'm still banged by your story. Like I was not expecting the twists, the turns, the after story, the after story. But thank you so much for coming on the platform to share your testimony with us. Is there anything you would like to say to our viewers, to our listeners before you go?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chloe. I know I was persuasive for you to get me on this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do for a living. I'm a marketing executive, so I need to persuade someone just to get what I want. So it's been an amazing platform. I've been checking out your streams. It's beautiful. I actually was challenged that Chloe is doing something like this. But hey, good on you. And I know it's going somewhere. Because this is the next big thing. Podcast is the next big thing. So yeah, but also in closing, to the listeners out there, I think whilst I was having this journey, one particular verse that was guiding me is from the book of Psalms 9, verse 10, that says, those that know your name, I hope I say it correctly, those that know your name will always trust in you, because God, you never forsake those that seek you. So I always seek the face of God, and that's how come I know that God has never let me down. I have let God down many times, but I've always known that God, He will never forsake me.
Yeah.
Because He's not a God that breaks His promises. He's a God that shows up at the right time and is on time. So yeah, please, thank you for having me on this platform. I hope for great things next time.
Okay, thank you so much, Panji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really blessed by your testimony, and I know that there'll be somebody out there that will be blessed as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've come to the end of this episode. Please do like, share, subscribe, and Leave us a comment in the comment section. We're blessed that you've joined us. And don't forget to bloom in Christ wherever you are planted.